Alright, Ebusian for Mamina Makwaba, Eba Ghana Politics Avenue, Ahana Ope or the trending political stories in Ghana, Onsa Bitime Akan. And the political high news why of course news will be Fayura Kenneth Nanaya Ufuriata, former finance minister, or the Eswa administration. Aba Abontin Bebre fa America editing over a visa or a passport overstay or United States of America. Na anɔpɛya na yɛabɔ apini US ambassador to Ghana Yura Austin Rudolph ɛne n'atwetwe nkɔmmɔ ɛfa Kenneth Ofori Atta ho ɛna ɔse yes when ya confirmation say former finance minister of Ghana Yura Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta US aban aso no mu ɛfa ne visa stay ho na yɛ detaining no na obedi some few days in detention na ɔmo de ahwehwɛ nneɛma mu yie na sɛ biribiara kɔtɔ a ebetwiti n'ase normal Ghanaian a ɔwɔ US sɔrɔ so nti sɛ Ghana ɔbɛba Ghana egyina ne documents ne ne nneɛma a ɔbɛda adi sɛ ɔbɛtena USA so a egyina ne nneɛma a documents ɔbɛda adi wei na ɛbɛto dwa na amanfoɔ kyerɛ ɔmo adwene sɛ ɛna Kenneth Ofori Atta adi nti na ɔrepɛ trouble wei na ama no ho ɔmma Ghana na kwadu ɛde bɔbɔ ne fa mbɔ no na so wo wanu ya unya no na no honton na wonje na wokɔ ha adecha wokɔ anu nya hide and seek mi go to US ambassador to Ghana Yura Austin Rudolph ni na no disema odituja ye ba de kabia ye de bema mo
getting people who are committing crimes in the United States to face trial in the United States and vice versa, and it's something that we have had a long history of working together, and it's even gotten better here in Ghana. But broadly, when you say deportations, that's talking about people from Ghana who have been in America who are now being sent back to Ghana. So we're deporting them back home to Ghana. And that is broadly, or any country, right? They've come to our country, they may have violated an immigration law, they've stayed illegally, they may have committed a crime and served their time and now are being sent home because they're no longer have valid status as a non-immigrant in the United States. So that's that. Then you have these people who have come to the United States and have abused the migration system, but have, for some reason or another, an inability to go home to their home country. And that is, and then finally we have, and I don't believe this applies in Ghana, but we have people who are coming to the United States to seek refugee status. And essentially, we're asking for some countries around the world to say, well, we know that the United States doesn't have room at the moment for these refugees. Would you be willing to go to? And then we have entered into agreements with countries around the world where people can go as what's called a safe third country agreement, where they can go and say, well, I can't be a refugee in the United States, but perhaps I could go to Malawi. I'm making it up. But, and we believe that some people would say, well, actually, I just really wanted to go to the United States. And we have seen President Trump's made it very clear that people have been abusing our migration system for many, many years, to the point where we have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the United States illegally. And that's what this is about. It's about the president's priority and why we have focused on it around the world in protecting our borders and enforcing our laws. And we're grateful to our partners who have helped us do that. So I'll let Rolf get into the specifics on Ghana.
So first of all, in terms of numbers of Ghanaians removed from the U.S., I don't know that number offhand. The cooperation on that has been really strong, so we applaud Ghana for that. A lot of countries are, and countries are obligated to take back their own citizens. And so our cooperation on that has been very positive, and we're appreciative of that collaboration. I'm not going to go into lots of details about the third country national agreement. You're welcome to ask the government of Ghana for their perspective on that. What I will say is, in terms of the recognizing the rights of individuals, their own nationals or foreigners, we have full faith and confidence in the government of Ghana's ability to manage properly the situation. And so any issues that have come up, I'm confident they'll be investigated thoroughly and responded to. And so we've been proud to work with them on that and appreciate their collaboration. As Will said, President Trump, very, very strong feelings about this, was elected in a significant part because of his approach on illegal immigration. And so we always we appreciate the opportunity to work with our partners on these tricky issues. On the extraditions question, We are always open to receiving extradition requests. That is absolutely a firm part of any good bilateral relationship. It's certainly ours. The process of evaluating an extradition request is on the American side is very well established, and it is not generally very quick. And so we receive a request. It goes through the various mechanisms that we have to undertake. But the door is always open for those requests. There's no individual case that can be prejudged because U.S. judges make decisions on this. And they are, of course, a separate branch of government. So they have the ability to approve or disapprove a request. But we're always open to that kind of collaboration.
The facility holding Mr. Ofori, previously known as the Puman Creek Regional Jail, has a capacity of about 336 adult detainees for men and women. The Caroline Detention Facility is one of two major ICE detention centers in Virginia, alongside the Farmville Detention Center. In 2025, both facilities have operated at consistently high occupancy levels, reflecting a broader rise in immigration detentions linked to stricter enforcement measures under Donald Trump. As of November 28, 2025, the Caroline Detention Facility had exceeded its designed capacity. Now, former Deputy Finance Minister Kweku Kwarteng has been commenting on the issue. He spoke earlier on the AM show.
That somehow he's had some issues with the U.S. immigration. I don't know the details, and I can only hope that whatever it is, they resolve the issues so he can come back home.
Okay, but generally, I mean, from the time that the OSP has been pestering him and all of that, the Attorney General and all, in terms of corruption and corruption-related conversations around him, I mean, you worked closely with him. Most of the allegations, are they true?
Well, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But I think what we're all looking to see is that he gets back to the jurisdiction, and then the law will take its course, and if he's innocent, he's pronounced innocent. If he's guilty, then the punishment could be applied. I do not think it is helpful to begin to suggest that he's guilty or innocent until he's gone through the process.
But are you surprised of most of the allegations at all? You know, well,
these are allegations that were made even when we were in government, but that is not to suggest that those allegations are true. And for us, we just are looking to see how the law takes its course and what verdict we get eventually.
Okay, let's start with the Mahama administration. It's been a year already. How would you assess it?
Moving on, Ghana is making headway in its efforts to secure the release of a Ghanaian national held as a prisoner of war in Ukraine. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Kudjeto-Ablakwa, announced a few days ago that Ghana has initiated diplomatic engagements with Ukrainian authorities to facilitate the individual's release. The Ghanaian national is reported to have traveled to Moscow, Russia on July 7, 2024, where he allegedly signed a contract to join the 2nd Assault Company of the 71st Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 42nd Motorized Rifle Division. In a post on X, Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha reaffirmed his invitation to Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister to visit Ukraine next month for further discussions. He also pledged that Ghanaian diplomats would be granted access to prisoners of war, in line with international humanitarian law. Away from foreign news, the Scholarship Secretariat's debt has ballooned beyond 800 million cedis, raising fresh concerns about the sustainability of government-sponsored scholarships. Education Minister Haruna Idris is pushing for petroleum royalty revenues to be used to offset the growing liability. He believes the proposal will ease pressure on the Secretariat and prevent disruptions to students studying both locally and abroad. The minister spoke during the inauguration of the Govenment Board.
Currently, I'm told that the Scholarship Authority is in debt of about 834 million Ghana cedis. That's why I strongly was pushing for earmark funding for the Ghana Scholarship Authority. Unsuccessful as I was, I'm sure I'll be back to it some other day, but my argument strongly was that we should dedicate 2.5% of petroleum royalty revenue to the development of human capital and dedicate it to the Scholarship Authority. Indeed, if we observe your performance over a year, my thought, which I'll share with the President subsequently, would have been to collapse the Ghana Student Loan Trust Fund into the Scholarship Authority and establish a Ghana Scholarship and Bursaries Authority.
Well, Chairman of the Governing Board of the Secretariat, Samuel Gariba, says adequate funding of the authority is crucial in ensuring the smooth and efficient administration of scholarships to deserving beneficiaries.
A scholarship scheme is absolutely no use if you cannot fund the scholarships you award. And there's nothing more disheartening to send students abroad, to the US, to the UK, to elsewhere. You can't pay their tuition. Tuitions are far in arrears. Worse still, you can't send them their stipend on which they will eat. The students studying in local universities, if they don't have food, they can come home and eat kenke or TZ or tumpani. When the student goes abroad and you don't send the stipend, how is he going to live? So they become a laughing stock in the streets of the US, in the UK, wherever we send our students. I hope that is not the experience now. But if that is the experience, we need to deal with that. One way of dealing with that is funding. But the administration of scholarships is not heartless to send students and don't send money to them.
Still on education, Prosper Techi has been elected the new president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, defeating incumbent leader Reverend Isaac Owusu in a keenly contested national election in Accra. Mr. Techi secured 436 votes, representing 61.75% of the total valid votes cast, while Reverend Owusu polled 266 votes, amounting to 37.78%. A third contender, Charles Mponsa, garnered just 2 votes, representing 0.28%. The election took place during NAT's 7th National Delegates Conference at UPSA Auditorium, bringing together teachers and representatives from across the country to choose new national leaders. On Akroma Ashalajah's Amasaman route, drivers like Stephen Kumi wake up every day chasing a simple dream to earn an honest living. Instead, they are forced to battle deep potholes and frequent breakdowns. Kumi's work and pay vehicle is slowly falling apart, and he is not alone. Drivers and residents who ply this route say the poor road network is turning daily travel into a nightmare. In the first episode of our feature series, Roads of Peril, my colleague Ofori focuses on the poor road network in some communities in the Amasaman constituency.
It's dusty, uneven, and almost impassable. This is the Amasaman constituency, where large stretches of road remain untarred and have been in this state for years. I meet Stephen Kumi, a driver who has plied this route for a decade, and he says every trip is a painful experience. The 50-year-old native of Asaman Kese once hoped to become a teacher, but a lack of funds forced him to abandon school. He later trained as a mechanic before eventually becoming a driver. While he loves his job, the condition of the roads has turned every trip into a struggle.
Since from inception, this road has not seen a major transformation or something. It's very, very bad. In the election time, they will come and grade for us. Yes. After that, nobody will come here again. They will pack their tools after election. It's unfortunate. We are pleading with government and our MP, Mr. Senyo, come and look this road for us. From Amasaman to Obom, Amasaman has so many villages. So many villages. This place
Kumi is not alone. Drivers here share similar experiences.
The human cancer, me Akroma local secretary. Na ekwan we ya bon ya demonstrations sa ya demo ya bre. It is here. You see no ya adwin say because say edu campaign tem no maba. Mo dada ya na ye di omochi. Zere ezu fa ya wadwin. Zere kwa na se kura. Hwe ka vura mi kura hwe. Asenya mo nyina asai. Ampa o. Asenya mo nyina asai. Ise mi dua bi am fa manye ska akoto. Pass no. It is here. Je kwa ndie to frank. Kwa ndie asai. Say cars ebi wo kura esi shop. U ko kura anima kura won se kan ebi si o. Asai ese kwan so.
We drive through Amasaman 3 Junction, Ashalaja, Ayikai Doblo, Akraman, and Doblo Gono. The vehicle wobbles constantly as we ply the uneven terrain. It takes a great deal of patience and skill to maneuver through this corridor. Vehicle breakdowns are a common sight in these communities. Drivers say more than a dozen break down every week.
Melodufre Amasamai to Akroma. Mr. Shah said in Deka Nam Kwan is 1 week from Menya. In fact, Manu who crossed him in Nam Kwan also. Madame Sonny Hunam Raya Mea. Nanserian Mabitua Kwans and Mabitua on Ukrano. Still none in Sunas out on Gaza. In Sugas out of Cradi Cradi and Yakra. Namansu Atta Kwanos none will be dear can be grand jabos and sure jabos and mamma jabos and crassay. In fact, where the Ebesre in Penfona, Omoya no Mama Buena, Quano Moya Quano Mae. Ye ban school for Muko complaining classay. Quining your Ombefaka on the Bombocofino. No Hunamunia Omoya, Omboko, Base Damino Damianzano. Na Omabre.
Former Assembly member for Ukushi Biade, Daniel Kwabna Ampong, says all efforts to draw attention to the deplorable state of the roads during his tenure failed to yield any results.
I've done most of the demonstrations in this place, call people, goes to major institutions to make sure this road will be constructed, but yet still I think they don't care, they don't mind. But I hope the government has changed, so we're really championing that the government will look back.
With sections of the Amasaman portion of the Accra-Kumasi Highway still incomplete, heavy-duty trucks diverting through the communities have worsened the situation.
Ahaya Doblo Gono. Na Doblo Gono no ye kwan we me ba kwan we so 2004. Na ente kwan ente sei. Ba e bedru ba bi e kwan no ye hwe kwan se de kwan se tie a. Ananti ho aka ho asem a omumfie. Titem bia every present day ye ko shop se me no ka se kura na a omu ye me interview me no ka se. Me fe shop na be. Makwa boso kan aba bedru ha. Akose almost 3000 me nsem. Enso se na ade be chi no me san ko shop bio. Tem bia ko fe liar is san ho a enipa ko hu ntokwa a ore kura be ho. Adenti.
Like drivers, traders are also feeling the brunt of the poor road conditions. Ifwa Santoa
Abuzama could say US ambassador to Ghana, also Rodolphe Anudisem. Na Zidim Ghana Politics Avenue, and open all the trending political stories in Ghana. Ayana onsa beat me akan. And a story was in there chidi ebekosu a full story no. And na the BCBA no ye the bedroom pink crato for ma the bedroom mo channel so. And then did come back channel so be subscribe to channel. Na wa hit notification bell on the story no be I two ma on sabit makanin. Na visual like video you know shama afufron so enye bi. Say be ya the video no betum bia on sabit me aka so to me the air Ghana ya manu se me damu nyama se say majibre na mo de tie na mo de ahwe ye. That's an Ghana police 7 Akroma.